I remember as a child growing up, my mother used to say, because I always played in the mud, that someday I'll probably work with this stuff. And here I am doing it years later. So there's something about the quality of it. And especially with what I do with the polishing, there's a real sensuousness about it that I really enjoy. I work with clay as a potter and a clay sculptor, as I like to say. I've been doing it for about 26 years. And I make vessels, sculpture, and wall pieces out of clay. Most of it is a process which I call pit firing and burnishing of the surfaces. I don't use any glazes. I stopped using glazes about 16 or 18 years ago when I started getting involved in this technique. And the surface, which is a very highly smooth surface, is created from polishing the pieces, burnishing it. I rub the ware at different stages of drying. First when it's a little damp, then a little further drying, I rub it again, and then when it's bone dry, I use a little vegetable oil, which creates that really nice sheen that you see on the surface of the work. Once it's put into the ground, into this pit firing process, a variety of colors and fire markings appear because of the materials I fire with, like seaweed, dung, vegetable matter, fruit rinds, orange peels, sawdust, some oxides from metals, and the fire and the flame and the combination of the materials in the firing create all the wonderful colors that you see on the work. And the pit firing process has been around as long as people have been working with the material. Some people call it a primitive process. I don't like to use that word, but it is a real basic technique of firing clay. I put down 6 inches of sawdust at the bottom of the pit, and wherever the piece is put into the sawdust, it'll blacken. So there's areas on my forms that you'll see a black area often, and that's from how it sits in the sawdust at the bottom, upside down, right side up on its side. And then certain colors I get, I know will appear from the materials like the seaweed or the orange peels or from the copper that I use. But the actualness of it on the surface, I never know, which is what I like about the process. There's a real spontaneity and unpredictableness. And I also like the permanence of it once it's fired, that it's forever.